Hey, what's up everyone? This is Justin, and I'm here today to give you my review for the highly anticipated sixth film in the DCEU, Aquaman. So Aquaman is the story of Arthur Curry. His dad was just a normal lighthouse keeper until he happened to cross paths with the Princess of Atlantis, Atlanta. Being that Aquaman's the son of Princess Atlanta, he has Atlantean blood in him, but basically Atlantis kind of rejected him. They deem him as a half-blood and don't want anything to do with them. And Aquaman, Arthur Curry, doesn't really want anything to do with them either. After a catastrophic event happens caused by his half-brother Orm, at this point Arthur's kind of reluctantly motivated to begin his journey. Find a legendary hidden trident, take back the throne of Atlantis? Why not? So one thing I want to start off by saying is, it just makes me so happy that they can finally do a movie like this, taking place in the DCEU, but not have a million references thrown in your face to kind of let you know all these other characters are connected. There is a subtle little reference to one of the other DCEU films, and I thought that was really cool because at first fans might have been confused about where this actually takes place in the timeline. So this film is directed by horror genius James Wan, who's previously worked on the Conjuring and Insidious films. Guys, I'm happy to report James Wan and the rest of the cast did a great job with this film. This movie had a pretty good soundtrack as well. I mean, I was a little disappointed that in the Aquaman 3 trailer, they show that song. It's like, dun, 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 dun. And I thought that was going to be Aquaman's theme, but that wasn't really heard at all in the film. But all the orchestral stuff was very well done. It suited the fight scenes very well. But I will say, some of the song choices in this film were really awkward. There's a scene where they're going to the Sahara and they start playing a remix of Africa by Toto, but it's like Pitbull's remix, and it's like, why? There's this one scene where a specific character is reinforcing his new armor, he's testing out new tech he's received, and they're just playing this really weird song that just doesn't suit the scene at all and doesn't suit the character either. Just the way they did the scene and the overall feeling you got from him is just like, did they really just do some goofy-ass 90s style montage in this movie? Moving on to the next category, I want to talk about Atlantis itself. Now, this world is just amazing. All the different tech they use, the characters, the way they portray their superpowers. One thing I was really happy about is in Justice League, Aquaman has to talk to Mera underwater, and the way they do it, they just make this giant water bubble that they go into. In this one, they just talk to each other normally underwater. There's no water bubbles that they have to make or anything ridiculous like that. It's just their regular voice with maybe a little bit of a filter on it. Next, we have to talk about the fight choreography, and this was one of the best aspects of the film for me. The film shortly opens up to this huge fight sequence with Nicole Kidman and these other Atlanteans. And just the way the camera moves around with her while she's holding that trident is really cool. There's certain scenes where she's going throughout her house and the camera's moving over, it's going above, it's coming back down. And I just thought it was a really unique way to do that. It made everything seem much more fast-paced. There's a scene where Aquaman and King Orm are fighting underwater in this place called the Ring of Fire, and it's basically this huge underwater gladiator arena. And it's neat to see in these films that just Atlanteans fight different than we do. Obviously, there's a lot of CGI involved, but the way they're punching each other, throwing each other, clashing tridents, it just feels like part of that world. It doesn't just feel like a stereotypical CGI fight sequence that just takes you out of something. Just like in Justice League, Jason Momoa killed it as Aquaman. In the past, we've seen these iterations of Aquaman, and he's goofy, he looks funny, but Jason Momoa is a big dude, and that's just gonna show that ain't no one making fun of Aquaman anymore. You can just tell that on and off screen, Jason Momoa had a blast filming this movie. Patrick Wilson plays King Orm, aka Ocean Master in this film, and he did a great job. It wasn't a ridiculous standout performance or anything like that, but it's really close to being one of the top DCEU villains out there, almost up there with General Zod. He had great screen presence, and after a while, I almost saw things from his perspective. Now, I'll be the first to say, usually when a movie tries to do multiple villains, it just comes out as a mess, but in this movie, they pulled it off so well. I'm probably going to butcher this. Yahya Abdul Mateen II played David Kane, aka Black Manta. We're introduced to his character early on in the film, and he basically plays this high seas mercenary, underwater pirate type character, and his motivation for wanting to go after Aquaman was really well done. I really felt for his character. And as someone who always plays as Black Manta and Injustice 2, they definitely did his character justice in this movie. There's so many other cast members I could talk about. Nicole Kidman, Amber Heard, Willem Dafoe, Dolph Lundgren, and they all did a great job in their specific roles. And I didn't even recognize him in the movie, but Graham McTavish was in this film from the Hobbit movies. He played King Atlan. I just can't say enough how awesome and well done this movie was. Great acting all around. The special effects were top notch. The fight sequences were great. And fans that have been kind of reluctant with the DCEU lately with Justice League or Batman v Superman, whether you love or hate those films, they're going to be happy with this one. Love it or hate it, my top film in the DCEU is still Man of Steel because I just love how they portrayed Superman in that movie. Aquaman's going to be second place, followed by Wonder Woman. So guys, check this movie out. 8.5 out of 10.